We are monitoring the Korean situation very diligently, and we haven't seen action to back up the rhetoric in the sense that we haven't seen significant changes, as I said, in the north in terms of mobilizations or repositioning of forces.
Tensions are tightening further on the Korean peninsula. The North's declared a state of war with the South. I guess young Kim Jong-un forgot his country has technically been at war for 6 decades since the Korean War ended without a peace treaty. But this fresh round of threats comes as the North pledges to build a nuclear bomb. Pyongyang's also suspended the last remaining military line with the South. Remember, 30,000 U.S. troops are stationed in South Korea, and the Pentagon's now repositioning a destroyer in the region after sending F-22 fighter jets to South Korea this weekend. NBC's Jim Maceda is live in Seoul, South Korea. Jim, the South could retaliate in seconds if the North strikes, but what are the odds that that will actually happen? What signs are you watching for?
Well, it's always been extremely unlikely that North Korea would launch a full-scale offensive against the South. That is, using its arsenal of artillery, of missiles, 700,000 plus soldiers amassed at its border. Kim Jong-un is young, he's naive, but he's not crazy. At least that's how the theory goes. And he wouldn't sacrifice his country in a battle he couldn't win. It's much more likely would be a smaller strike, like if you recall, the torpedo attack back in 2010 on a South Korean vessel that killed almost 50 South Korean soldiers. That kind of strike is possible. U.S.-South Korea war games are ongoing for another month, and we know how much that antagonizes Kim Jong-un. So striking, say, a small South Korean ship is a real threat. In terms of imminent attack or signs of imminent attack by the North, the most obvious signs would be significant movement of tanks and heavy weapons, missiles, rockets into the border area. We haven't seen that yet. Another sign would be the closing of what they call the Kaesong Industrial Zone. Now, that's an industrial park just inside the border, inside North Korea. About 50,000 North Korean workers are earning hard currency from South Korea, which helps the North Korean economy. It also helps prop up the Kim regime. If that park closes, that, we're told, would be quite a stark sign that the Korean crisis has reached a higher level. But again, so far, despite all the rhetoric we're hearing, that industrial park has remained conspicuously open. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but sources are saying that this current crisis does seem to have crested. Effie, back to you.
NBC's Jim Maceda, thank you.